Everybody okay with that? Okay, thank you for starting the recording. Good evening, everyone. My name is Lee Cruz. I am co-chair of the management team. My co-chair Liz is not here this evening because she is becoming a school teacher. So she has a class tonight and she'll be back with us at the end of the semester. Okay, so all of you should have picked up, or you can pick up at that table, the agenda. We have a copy of the minutes, and there is information that we will be sharing in the announcement. Also, if you are a voting member, if your name appears on the list there as a voting member, the other side of the list is your ballot. And please take that, but your ballot will only be accepted if you are a voting member. For people online, when it comes time to vote, Adam is going to send you a list. Oh, there's the list. That's the same list that's on the table. People online, is there a way to shrink down the interpretation so people can see the whole list?
This is the whole list.
Yep, there's the whole list. So if your name appears on this list and you are online, you will be sent a link by Adam. And when you fill it out, only Adam will see those. For the people in the room, only the correspondence secretary will see, only the recording secretary will see your ballot. Okay?
It does look like Christine is not on there.
I know, isn't that interesting? Imagine that.
We should add her.
Who's not on?
Christine.
Oh, you're not? Oh.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm a voting member.
Yeah.
Let me double check. That's weird. Yeah, you should be on there. It must have, when I alphabetized it, must have got lost. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's get started. So, folks, we are at our November 7th meeting. It's 6:04. We're going to start the meeting. Always want to remind people very quickly of the house rules. So we're going to try to stay focused, no fault problem solving. If you're a person that normally doesn't speak, we encourage you to speak. If you are like me and you talk a lot, we encourage you to kind of lay back a little bit, give other people a chance to speak. We're going to try to have honest, open communications in a safe space, listen with open minds, believe in everyone's best intentions. We're going to try to be action-oriented, decide what we want, when we want it, and plan for it to happen. This is a Fairhaven-centered collaboration, and the goal is to try to start on time as best we can, to proceed and to end on time, and to honor the agenda. The link, if you know of anyone who is interested in attending and may not be here, you can send them the link that appears on the agenda. And if you don't have access to Zoom, you can join by phone, and the phone number with the PIN is also on the agenda. Is there anyone who is here? First, I'll go with the room. Anyone who is here for the first time, raise your hand. First time here. Okay, so we're going to go across and just ask you to say your name, your organizational affiliation, and very quickly, I'm here to make an announcement. I'm here to make a presentation. We'll talk about it later, but just so that people have a sense.
My name is Charmaine Crosley. I'm with the Urban League of Southern Connecticut, and I'm here to present my program to Raven.
Okay, gentleman in the back.
Hi, yes, good evening. My name is Hugo Reyes. I represent the City of New Haven Health Department. I just not presenting, I think just came to join.
Okay.
And my name is Jeremy Schluck. I'm with Clean Transportation Communities of Southern Connecticut. I'll be making an announcement.
Great. Online, do we have anyone who is here first time online?
Hey Lee, it's Kellyanne Day. I think this is my first time at this meeting.
Hi, Kellyanne, welcome.
Thank
Want
you.
to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Kellyanne Day. I run New Reach. We operate the Life Haven Emergency Shelter on Ferry Street and the Fish Program. Our offices are on Peck Street. We've had some staffing changes, so I don't know that we've been well represented, but we're coming back. And I just wanted to introduce Chelsea Reed, who's our operations director, who's also joining us tonight. So happy to be here.
Hi,
And
everyone.
Chelsea-
Thanks so much for having me.
Okay, hold on, Chelsea, I'm gonna make you big on the screen so people can see you. Want to
Oh,
say hello?
goodness, so much pressure. Hi, everyone. I'm Chelsea Reed. I'm the Director of Operations for New Reach. Really happy to be here. Like Kellyanne said, you'll definitely be seeing a pretty consistent presence for us this meeting. I see some familiar names on the screen, so excited to see what you guys have going on here. Thanks so much for having us again.
Great, thank you. And anyone else new that's online? Okay, I don't see anyone raising their hand, so we're gonna move on. So, so the Zoom instructions, mute your mic if you're not the speaker, use the chat box, which I'm gonna put here on the side to introduce yourself, which some people have already done. So for those of you unfamiliar, that list on the side, watch for anything that someone might say there, and if I don't point it out to me. But basically, people are introducing, I suggest changing your name to your actual name, then your attendance can be counted. So Adam is suggesting if, it's hard for us to identify you if your name on the screen is iPhone 1 or something like that. So please make it your name, enough so that we can identify you for purposes of attendance. And there we go. Okay, so moving along here, the meeting has been called to order. We're going to ask the recording secretary to call the roll of the board.
Absolutely. Lee,
Present.
Liz is absent. Gina,
Present,
Abby,
present,
Present.
Adam,
Present.
and Christina, myself, I'm present.
Okay, so we have the majority of the board here, only one member, Liz, our co-chair, my co-chair is not present. Again, introduce yourselves, and then we have established quorum, so I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
I'll make that.
Anyone
motion.
online or in the room?
I'll make it.
Yeah,
So
Dennis
moved.
made it.
Second.
And Dennis and Marianne
Second.
seconded.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. We're going to go now to the secretary, the treasurers, the financial report.
Adam,
Gina, our current treasurer is online. Gina, go right ahead.
Adam, can you put this report on?
Yeah.
As you can see, the September balance was $4,051.11. And we have our monthly expense for Zoom Spanish translation of $5.05, which reduced our balance to $4,046.06. And there were no deposits. And the next page that Adam will show you has the bank statement.
Okay. So there you go. Trying to be
Yeah.
for full disclosure, and we just that report does not need to be approved to vote, if I remember correctly. Is that correct, Adam?
Correct.
No, that's just Gina's report.
That's just Gina's report. Okay, we are going to have elections tonight, and if everything moves forward smoothly, this is in fact Gina's final report. And
No,
although
it's not. No, it's not. I have a December report and a year-end
that's
report.
right. I stand corrected. I stand
And
corrected.
a November report, so.
Okay, well, you know what, then I'm just gonna say thank you anyway. And I'll say it again next month. And the month after that. Okay, great. Then let's move along. We approved the minutes, we did the financial report, police report. I did see the sergeant online. I'll make your picture big here. And there you go. Sarge, you want to give your report?
Yes, good evening, everybody. Sorry I couldn't attend in person. I got another obligation to attend to. real quick, I'll just go over some statistics here. Calls for service, for this, we actually managed to get, the most of the whole city this month. At 744. Arrests was a little bit down at 54, robberies 5, aggravated assaults 2, 6 burglaries, 13 thefts from auto, 4 firearm discharge, and we did have the one murder which occurred at Ferry on Wolcott Street the beginning of October. Trend wise, we still continue to see the rims and tires being taken. It has quieted down a little bit in the past several days to a week. We do think that that's because somebody might have been arrested elsewhere. But we, you know, our detective bureau is working on that. We have began processing some cars. We've located a car that was involved in one of the incidents that actually pulled out a firearm on our victim that was trying to stop them from happening. Car was recovered, so you know it takes time for processing. It was unoccupied. Uh, I'm sure you guys heard about like the street takeover that's been going on. Luckily, Fairhaven hasn't been hit too much with it, as in the other areas, but nonetheless, it does have an effect on Fairhaven as well. One of the people involved who was stealing or he was in possession of a police Crown Vic, was arrested and charged accordingly when he was organizing a street takeover about 100 cars or so. The reason why these Crown Vics have been getting stolen, it's not just New Haven. It actually started, I think, in Norwalk. Basically, those is the old cars, like the old Crown Vics that we used to have 50 years ago. Some police departments, you know, use them for road jobs or for extra stuff. They're not in patrol, but they have a fleet key. Somebody somewhere got a hold of a fleet key and made copies, and they're going around other police departments throughout the state and stealing these, going into the impounds and stealing these cards, which is pretty brazen. Then as far that's concerned, and other than that, trend wise, I still we are the car break-ins are coming down a little bit, and there's no other specific trends. The homeless trend, I know it's a big issue with the businesses and and obviously the community members. We are trying to work on other strategies, targeting the people that refuse services, refuse to get help. Obviously, number one goal would be to get help first to eliminate these issues. But we're working on steps that with the city and with courts to try and actually Fairhaven and downtown are the two districts in the city that are going to be taking part of this initiative. It's literally brand new, just started. We're still ironing out the kinks, but hopefully with time we could get some more stats and reporting on, especially from the people who are not from New Haven and are coming to New Haven and creating these quality of life type of issues for the residents. Other than that, Lee, I'll leave it up for questions.
Okay, I'm gonna take you off pin so we can see everybody. First in the room, I see a question. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Sergeant, for settling in your job. My question is, does the police give any leads to victims after the fact, after the information?
After what?
After the incident, does the police give leads for the victims to follow, like help? The point is, an elderly lady on Lombard Street with voting for standards, whatever it is, get from the other side that she was a victim of theft. Her rent money and food money was stolen, and she was motivated somehow to cross the street as evening was setting in. I gave her a politician's number to call. It was an answering machine. It didn't help. And she didn't know what to do.
Yeah, so
Does
you're
the police
asking,
give any
you're-
information?
you're asking if the police give people information that will help them to deal with the fact that they've been robbed or whatever the case may be. Okay, so does the police have any sort of a referral system for victims to help them? I know that in the cases of violent crime, there is, but let's say like this lady got her money stolen, it was her food money, her rent money. Do you give them ideas as to which agencies they can go to? Is there such a list?
Yeah, so I mean, if I'm understanding this correctly, and if I'm not, correct me. But yeah, like Lee mentioned, any violent crime or anything of that nature, there's we have a victim advocate at our police department. We also have a victim advocate at court if the suspect is arrested and charged accordingly to handle that. So that's taken care of. As far as if you report a property crime and there is no the police will handle it from start to finish if it's not big enough to go to the detective bureau, and it's up to that officer to go ahead and if there's any follow-up, to go ahead and follow up. As far as getting back to the original victim or complainant, it's very, unless there's something tangible to report, nothing will get reported back. There won't be a status update from the patrol officer. They're just too inundated with day-to-day calls. They can't go back, 3 weeks ago to see if there's any more leads. They're not detectives, they're patrol officers.
That's a useful piece of information, but he's asking something slightly different. That is, do the officers, when they go and they speak to Lee Cruz, who was just robbed, and I say, I lost all the money to buy groceries this week, does that officer have a list of organizations that he can say, go to this organization, they offer assistance with food, or that? So not a report on the crime, but something that would bridge that person to services. Is that available through the police officer?
So it would be available through our victim advocate. So like we encourage, sometimes the officers are just going call to call to call, and they don't specify it. But any victim in this case, like the example you just outlined, is entitled to certain services. I don't know all the services, but our victim advocate, Officer Nikki Curry, she would be the best, which is a police officer. She's the best point of contact, our victim advocate office that's out of our police department. They will be the ones to be able to piecemeal anything for, case by case type of situation.
So victims should be encouraged to contact the victim advocate's office.
Yes.
Is that a phone number that you could possibly put in the chat for people to have, if that would be possible? And then what we'll do is we'll share that number with people, just so you know, if you are the victim of a crime, or if you know someone, that's one way to do it. And then Kellyanne, they put up the second one, which is to call 211, or you can go online, 211, is it CT 211 or 211 CT, the website? Anybody know?
Not sure.
211.com, it pops up CT.
Huh?
I usually just put in 211.com, it pops up with CT.
211, then pops up the one for Connecticut, because
Yes.
it's different for different states. And then that way you can fill out a form online, and if you say, I need money for food, then it tells you the different agencies that provide that service. So let's try to get those things. I'll work with you, Christine, if you missed any of them. Everyone should know also that the United Way website has a section, it's called CFAN. And if you click on that page, it will tell you every pantry, every soup kitchen. It says where it is. It gives you a phone number. It tells you when it's open. If they serve a particular population, it tells you that. So all the information, so people don't have to wander around. They can actually go directly to a place that can help them that day. And that's available on the United Way website. So thank you very much, Sarge. Is there any other questions? Another question here in the room, and then I'll go online to check. Yes, sir.
Oh, hi. I'm president of River Place Condos on Front Street, and we have a problem with raccoons that come out and skunks that come out during the day, and they're like rabid or have distemper, and they just wander around in circles and things. Who do we contact? The police or animal control, which is part of police, or, you know, we just want them like taken care of before they bite somebody, and they wander into the park too across the street. So I just don't want anybody getting bit by them, but they're rabid because they're out during the day walking in circles. So I don't know who to report that to.
The same police department number is where you could get a hold of animal control. Or you could call animal control direct, or you could call the non-emergency police number, this 203-946-6316 number, and tell our regular dispatch, you know, we all work together. And they'll be able to.
But they're only open during the daytime, right? Or
and animal control, I think, has like our working hours, but you could always call our non-emergency number.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because somebody tried calling from, you know, our residents tried calling animal control, but they just got a voicemail, and they left a message but never heard back. So they weren't sure who to, you know, how to, you know, approach that. So we just don't want anybody getting bit, like especially if it goes into the park and anybody's in the park and you can, you know, get injured. So
yeah.
Question, Sarge, when someone calls the non-emergency number, and let's say they ask for animal control, which we know has regular hours, does that, I assume that gets cataloged as a call and can be traced so that we know in fact that it did go to that department, better than calling their direct number? It seems like that's what you're suggesting.
Well, they would only PSAP, public safety individuals. They will, if it's just a phone call, they track all of that. But if it's a calls for service, then, you know, on the police side, typically police won't show up without it. It's a really a case by case basis. But if it's during the day, I would just call the animal control number. If that fails, call the non-emergency number.
it's just a public safety thing.
Yeah.
You know, you want.
We got it.
Yeah.
So plan A is to call the directly to the animal control. And then plan B is if they don't respond to call the non-emergency number. That number, by the way, is listed on the agenda. Every month when we give you an agenda, there's a phone number for the sergeant, and then there's the non-emergency number. Only use the sergeant's number if you need to speak with him. Text him, do not call him. He's a busy guy. Call the non-emergency number if it's not urgent, but if it is urgent, let's say there's a rabid animal that's trying to bite people right now, you call 911. That's a 911 call. Okay. Anyone online have a question? Anyone online? I don't see any. Okay, so see anybody, Adam? No? Okay. Sarge, thank you very much. I know that you may have to leave, so thank you for your report.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Enjoy your evening.
Okay, have a good evening. Okay, so we're moving on. The next item on the agenda is our Livable Cities Initiative report. Normally that's given by Carmen Mendez from Livable Cities. She informed us that she's not going to be with us today, so we knew that. So we're going to skip that point, but remember on the agenda, there is a phone number for her. That's her cell phone number and her office number. No, just a cell phone number. So call or text her there. Also her email address. So if you have an issue that is for Livable City Initiative, that's the number to call. The person is Carmen Mendez. Okay, moving right along. We're just going to remind people that every quarter we do have a report from the Civilian Review Board representative. His name is Jaywan Carter. We are not in that month, but on the agenda is his email address. If you have any issues that should come before the Civilian Review Board of the Police Department, please write to Jaywan Carter. Again, his address is on item number 6 on the agenda. Moving right along to item number 7, economic development update. Some of you know that a couple of people left economic development, and they told us that it would be difficult, given that they're understaffed, to have someone at every meeting. Once they get fully staffed up again, they do plan to come back. I do not believe there's anyone from economic development on the on Zoom or in the room. Is that correct?
I don't see any of the names I know from economic development.
Okay, so we'll assume that this will be a temporary condition. If it doesn't change in the next few months, we'll go back and ring their bell. Okay, so we are now moving to item number 8 on the agenda, which has to do with the way we laid out the action plan for our work. And we're going to start under transparent government, economic and community development. And then Anna is here as well, I'm going to let her explain what her title is and what it's about. Anna, please. If you come up, then the mic is here and you can actually speak from the side. You don't have to, you're not testifying or anything from the side. And then you can speak to both the people in the group right there. That's the hot seat. Okay.
Right there.
Right there.
There we go.
Because we have people to the left and people to the right.
Hi, everyone. To those who don't know me, my name is Ana Juarez. I'm just a lifelong Fairhavener. I'm here before you today because I'm hoping to ask from the Fairhaven Community Management Team for some funds for this year's senior Thanksgiving lunch that's being held at the Atwater Center, just down the road from my house. This is something that usually our older Sarah Miller handles, but this year I'm helping her. So we're trying to gather some funds to be able to provide our seniors from our neighborhood a lunch and hopefully some gifts. Culture as well. We invite students from around Fairhaven to come and perform for the seniors. This event is going to be held Monday, November 25th, from 11:30 to, I believe it's 2:30. So we're just hoping that if you can match last year's funds or whatever you can do, we would really appreciate it.
Okay, and so the request last year was 300. Is that your request again this year?
Yeah.
Okay. So for those of you unfamiliar with the history, for years, there's been a dinner for elderly people in our neighborhood, a Thanksgiving lunch, the Monday before Thanksgiving. That's the 21st. And the city contributes and we contribute a bunch of people. So we're going to have, when we do the voting, Adam, or are we going to do it now?
So there's 2 separate votes. There's the vote for this, which I'll drop in the chat. Anyone who is a voting member, you can also just let Christina know what your vote is before you leave tonight. And basically the question is, shall the Fairhaven Community Management Team donate $200 to the Atwater Senior Thanksgiving Dinner? So yes, no, abstain. We don't really have a source of income, so we kind of had to limit it to 200 this time. But Anna, the members here or anyone here can also give privately as well, can they not?
Yes. Yeah.
We're accepting all kinds of funds.
Yeah. So just to be clear, is what's on the table $200 or $300?
$200.
200.
Yeah.
2?
Yeah, we talked.
2. Oh, yeah, that's right. At the executive committee, we did say because of our limited funds right now, so we would be able to contribute $200. So if you're voting tonight and you're in the room here, you can write Thanksgiving dinner on your ballot, the same one you're using for the election. Just write it and write your answer, yes, no, or abstain. And then when you hand it in for voting to Christina right here, then at the same time, then that way you don't have to wait around, okay? And only she will be looking at those votes.
And if you're thinking about it, you don't know if we should give it or not, you want to talk to somebody, this vote, just this one, not the election votes, just this vote is open till Sunday at midnight.
You must vote by Sunday at midnight in order to have it be counted. And that's through all of our votes that are for whether we write a letter of support or for money, they're always open for several days.
Someone asked a question in the chat.
Question in the chat is?
Can we vote in the chat directly to someone?
Now, is this for, are you asking, can we vote for on the chat for the election of officials or for?
No, she just saw the link. Sorry, I didn't
Okay,
make the link
great.
super clear.
Okay, great. So that's use the link right there that Adam has provided. And in the room, we have the ballots we mentioned before. Any questions? Any questions about the dinner or in reality, anyone can go that day and volunteer and you'll get a meal because you're volunteering that day. And anyone is welcome to donate 100% of this money. This goes to no agency, no person. 100% of what you donate goes to support our elderly people here in Fairhaven. So please donate if you can. And if also know that the management team will be donating $200 if the majority of the members, voting members, approve it.
How do they vote? I mean, how do they send money if they'd like to?
Excellent question.
I can collect the funds or you can give it to Sarah Miller or Lee.
Yeah.
If it's okay.
And we'll get it right in check. Who's gonna be the fiduciary? PRU?
I believe that, I think it's Chatham Square.
No, I think it's PRU.
You think so?
Yeah, I think she did PRU.
Okay.
Okay, so PRU is Puerto Ricans United. It's just a charitable, it's a 501c3, and then that way you get the tax benefit if that matters to you. So you can give, Paola's here tonight. Everyone knows I live at 29 Flint Avenue, put a check in an envelope. People have done this in years past. Put it in my mailbox, tell me, so I go out and retrieve it, but don't write the check to me. Write the check to PRU, and then in the memo, put Thanksgiving Day elderly event, something like that. And then we will get those checks to PRU. Questions about this item? Questions
Lee, I have a
about the item in the
question.
room? Questions?
Lee, I have a question. Last year, the check went to the United Way.
Yes, that's because we were using Chatham Square. We're gonna use PRU this year. Good, thank you for that clarification. That's why, because the Chatham Square account is at the United Way. That's why. Thank you for clarifying that. Any questions? I'm gonna take the pin off here. I don't see any raised hands. We're gonna move on. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Okay, and then now we're going to move to health, housing, and public policy. And this is where Charmaine is going to step up to the blue hot seat. It's so hot, it's blue.
It's my favorite color.
Yeah. So there you go. So please introduce yourself and tell us why you're here to speak with us.
Hi again. My name is Charmaine Crosley and I work with the Urban League of Southern Connecticut. I'm an intake specialist working on a program called True Haven. It's a housing stability program. We partnered with Yale. It's for budgeting, credit counseling, get access to mental health resources. It's for people that have either came home from jail within the past 12 to 18 months or currently on probation or parole, or if you have an immediate family member currently incarcerated, you also qualify for the program. This program provides assistance for, if you complete it, just so we clear, because you have to do the budget and credit counseling. You want to see that people are working on, building their credit and, just, housing stability period, because credit is a part of that. And I've had about 3 or 4 people complete the program so far. And one guy, he completed it. He did our home buyer class, and he actually purchased a condo, and his closing cost was $5,100 for completing True Haven. We paid $3,500 of it. We've paid people's back rent that's totaled up to $2,500 to $1,800. So, it's definitely beneficial for the people. But we came into Fairhaven in
July, so I have been reaching out trying to get here, but circumstances. So I wasn't able to come. And I'm here today just to ask for help from people in the community. Like if you know anybody, I will leave flyers and my business cards. If you know anybody that might qualify, that could use the help, they could call. My direct line is on the flyer. And again, I'll leave my business cards also. I don't know, I just need help from the community because I feel like the
To get the
community
word
can
out,
help, yeah. Because we've been hanging up flyers, but I feel like word of mouth is more effective.
That's fine. Okay, any questions about what the services are that are being offered online or in the room? Are we clear about what's being offered? What's being asked for is that we help get the word out. But any questions about what True Haven does? I don't see any online.
Well, I see what New Reach, well, my email address, can you put it in the chat for me?
Yep.
It's Crosley, SCROSLEY @ulsc.org. And you could contact me, you could email me directly. I'm good with responding to emails.
That'd be great. Thank you so much. This is an important,
Yeah, you could definitely share my contact information with the halfway house.
Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's right. That's correct.
Okay.
That's contact information. That's the fastest way to get.
Wait, is it USLC or UL?
It's ULSC, Urban League, Connecticut.
That makes more sense.
Okay, so go by the second one.
Right.
It's corrected.
Yes, that's correct.
This email address and contact information.
Awesome.
In addition to being here in the chat, it will be in our minutes.
Right there. And I got a stack of flyers for you and some business cards.
Pass them, and anyone that wants one can take one, leave the rest here.
Okay.
And then we'll make sure they get up to the librarians, because people will sometimes come to the library.
Oh, yeah, I believe we have one on the board up here.
Wonderful, just leave a few that people can take with them, if you leave them on the board there. And does anyone else have a suggestion of someplace or someplace that you visit where you can take a few flyers and bring them there?
Yeah.
If you do, the health department, so make sure you grab a few of those.
Do you have an electronic flyer at all or no? Just so that it can be posted.
Yeah.
'Cause we-
If you can email us an e-version of that.
I can actually, could you send me an email so I'll send it to you.
Yeah, it's the same email that you've been.
Fairhaven
Yep,
CMT.
that one.
Yeah.
That's
But you can literally take a picture of it with your phone.
We got cause like cause we got the barcode up here, so it brings you everywhere, but I'm gonna try to get that for you, cause I can't get the barcode just itself. I'll send to her.
Okay, perfect. But that barcode should come with the flyer so that people can read it and then act on it.
They can scan and put in their information.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, I don't see any other questions. Let's move right along. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you visiting us. Okay, so we're done with that area. Our next area is art, culture, and library. Is Nick from the VITA program. Now, is Nick making his presentation as a part of your presentation, Kirk? Are you gonna go first or Nick?
Yeah, I mean, if I saw him online. I don't know.
Yeah, they're both here. Just decide who's first and.
Okay,
well,
so why don't you introduce Nick so people know who he is?
Yeah, well, Nick Brundage is in charge of the VITA, which is the Volunteer Income Tax Associates. But this past tax season was our first year offering the VITA volunteers to prepare folks' taxes. There are income guidelines, and they don't do business taxes and things like that. But the goal for us is this coming tax season is that we can be a site again, and to do that we need to recruit enough volunteers, at least one volunteer or translator who can speak Spanish. But if Nick is on, he can tell you a little bit more about the process.
Yeah, thank you, Kirk. My name is Nick Brundage. I am the program manager for the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program VITA for Advancing Connecticut Together. We have a bunch of Vita sites in the New Haven area and around the state, even with some of the other partners on this phone call, our friends over at New Reach. Um, we are looking for volunteer help to staff the Vita site at the Fairhaven Library. We provide all the training needed to become a certified volunteer with the IRS, and can also offer stipends for if anyone's interested in doing the site coordinator role, which is kind of the overseer role there. And we can offer stipends for folks who are doing intake greeting translation, which is something that we ran into last year, and a clear need in the Fairhaven area. The VITA program is really volunteer driven. We have the framework, the equipment, and the funding from the IRS to make sure that you're taken care of and have everything that you need. But the things that we don't have is bodies. And you all are the folks that have these wonderful connections with the community. We have our recruitment flyers down there. I'll put my contact information in the chat. But the more volunteers we have, the more appointments we can have, and the more money we can save the community members of Fairhaven. And that's just more money coming back into the community. So, I appreciate you all having time for me, and I love this meeting. It really is quite inspirational. Generally speaking, tax preparers need to be 18, but we can have folks that are younger do the intake greeting and translation. So we can have high school students being involved in that for sure.
Are you already connected to New Haven Promise, or do you need to be connected to New Haven Promise?
I don't believe we are, but I'd love to be, yes.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, New Haven Promise is like working to provide volunteer opportunities and hours for high school kids, college kids, people who need lots of time and hours. So I'll put in the chat the contact person who you should reach out to, named Nellie, who is a great person to say like, hey, here's a volunteer opportunity that we need people for, and then she can help put the word out.
Yeah, thank you so much. I often joke it takes a village to do a tax return. So thank you all for the help.
Okay, so don't forget, folks, it's an opportunity to help. It's an opportunity to make a little money. It's an opportunity for high school and college students to get a little credit. You even promise students need to have credit. College students are always looking for opportunities. This is something to put on your resume if you're a high school or college student. Even as an adult, people like to know that you're active and engaged in your community. So if you have the willingness and feel comfortable doing this type of work, please be in contact. And Nick, how do they contact you through Kirk, or is your contact information somewhere?
I put my email in the chat. You can reach out directly to me or through Kirk, whatever is easier for you.
Okay, so let's make sure, Kirk, that we have that to put in the minutes as well, because the chat goes away, but Kirk will give us the information and we'll get it in the minutes. Or Christina's on it. She is on it. Okay, thank you very much, Nick. Kirk, before we go off from the library, is there anything you'd like to say about the library? I put in the announcements, the mural, but actually I think the mural is on your building, so I think you should do that.
Yeah, I've been listening in, so I didn't think you had mentioned anything about the mural yet, but we had an amazing ribbon cutting ceremony on Monday. It's finished. Come take a look. I don't know how much I don't know how long this unseasonably warm weather is going to last, but the mural is there. Just stop by the library. You can see it from Grand Ave, but as a pedestrian, just step onto our front lawn and enjoy the mural. There were City Arts was the organization that spearheaded this, and there were professional artists that were involved, but the ideas and a lot of the execution came from kids in the community. So have a come in or come here and see it outside. There's a companion art exhibit that contains this. This kind of blows my mind, but there are each frame that we have on the main floor of the library is an artwork on the topic of peace that a kid in at least 100 countries of the world has designed. Each one's unique. Each one's from a different country, and you can see the art exhibit that is a companion to the Peace Mural anytime we're open. Yeah, it's been real exciting to see the mural the mural take shape and come to its conclusion, but it will be out there for anyone to see. I also one other thing about our outdoor activities that I would like to share with everyone. Tuesday was the last day of our weekly farm market that's run by Common Ground. I started to receive the stats for the or the complete stats for the year. And for a weekly farm market that is only offered here, it's offered other places in the community. I know Mary Wade is one other local place that or one neighborhood stop that they go to. But our location, by the stats that I have, suggests that there were more than almost 600 transactions that the public made at the farmers market over the summer. And I haven't crunched the final numbers yet, but at least about 80% of the people who use the farmers market are people who use one type of food benefit program or another. They also take cash and cards and all the rest. But this has been super impactful for local folks who may not have as easy access to fresh, locally grown produce. So we're hoping and planning to offer space to Common Ground again next year. But in terms of things that go on in the community that have a real solid impact, Common Ground's market is one of those, and I just wanted to take a moment to highlight them. Just a couple other things that are going on here at the library. If you know someone who wants to learn languages, we have got options for you. We have our long-running English Conversation Club, where folks from literally all over the world come in. It's casual, it's informal. There's no textbook, there's no curriculum. It's run by one of our outstanding volunteers, Susan, who's here tonight. But people just take time getting to know each other and practice speaking their English in a conversational setting. We also have begun on Thursday evenings to offer English classes. That's a more formalized, organized class that's run by literacy volunteers of Greater New Haven. For that program, you do need to pre-register. We have the information how you can do that with literacy volunteers. But they'll also be here. They were here earlier today, and they will be here from 3 to 6 next Thursday to do the registration. So you don't necessarily have to reach out to them to get started. Also, for anyone who's interested in learning to speak Spanish, we have quite a tight-knit group now who meets each Wednesday at 4. With the English class, the English conversation class also takes place Wednesday at 4. Our own Manuel from here on the staff, many of you know him. He leads a Spanish conversation group, and that is growing. And who knows? If we get more interest in folks learning other languages, we might add to not just English and Spanish. The last thing I wanted to plug that goes on each day after school, we have a different program for kids that's organized here by folks on our staff, Sharon and Melba. They have something to offer each day after school. So if you have kids that are looking for something to stay active after school, there is something each day here. So I think that's about it. Appreciate Nick coming on to help us promote VITA. And if anyone has any additional questions about that, let him or me know so that we can continue to be a VITA site in the new year. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions? First, I'll start online. Any questions online for Kirk, about, VITA or about any of the other things that he mentioned? By the way, if you're here, go outside after the meeting and go to the front of the building, because the lighting is so beautiful. The mural is beautiful all the time, but it looks particularly beautiful at night. And so just be aware of that, okay? I don't see any questions online. Any questions in the room? Any questions? Okay, we're all clear. Thank you very much, Kirk, for the presentation. Thank you also, Nick, for making your presentation. Okay, before we go to the final item, which is the elections, we're gonna have announcements, and we're gonna start announcements with Jeremy. If you could come up here and introduce yourself, your organization, what you're presenting, and if you have any requests of us.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Jeremy Schulich. I work with Clean Transportation Communities of Southern Connecticut. We're a nonprofit. We're seeking funding to hire a community engagement liaison who would conduct various forms of outreach to multiple underserved communities in our region. Hearing from people what their transportation needs are that are being unmet, and relaying that information to policymakers, stakeholders, organizations, seeing if those needs could be met in clean ways. So we know that asthma and air pollution are issues in many underserved communities as well. They would also be disseminating information about electric vehicles, especially regarding how surprisingly affordable they can be with state and federal incentive programs. I actually have flyers here as well that I can hand out to people if they're interested, because there are multiple EV models available now that are actually cheaper than comparable gas burning models once you factor in the various incentive programs that are available. It would also, the liaison would also be conducting surveys in English and in Spanish, and they distribute the results to policymakers and private EV charging installers, hopefully to instill more confidence in those installers' ability to install EV chargers in underserved communities. I kind of dispel the chicken and egg problem where they feel like there are not going to be enough people to actually use them. The community engagement liaison will also be trained in workforce development opportunities. For example, there are a number of EV charging installations that are set to go up at the beginning of the year here in New Haven, and those will need technicians for installation and maintenance. We also have funding to train mechanics in EV repair. There's a separate community participation support fund that we plan to apply to as well that could directly compensate people who choose to engage with our liaison in these issues. The application is due November 20th. I'm sorry I didn't reach out sooner so I could be more formally on the agenda and give a longer presentation. But we're hoping for a letter of support. And we would just welcome any questions. You can come see me afterwards if you want to talk more about it. So thank you for having me today, though.
Thank you for that presentation. There's a process that I'm going to talk about in just a second, but first I want to know, are there any questions? Any questions in the room about Jeremy's presentation? Yes, I see a question here.
Oh, do you know where they're being installed in Fairhaven, or if they're being installed in Fairhaven?
Unfortunately not in Fairhaven, but the ones that the state got federal funding for, it's called the Charging and Fueling Infrastructure Grant Program. So those are set to go up sometime in the next 6 to 8 months, hopefully. There's some in Worcester Square and Wilbur Cross that are being installed. The city actually put in a separate application for the same program, and they were planning some in Fairhaven and other communities in New Haven, but unfortunately they did not get the funding for that. So
okay.
Yeah.
There is also one up the hill in Fairhaven Heights. There's the Friends Center. They have one in their parking lot that's open to the public as well. And there's one, at least one at Stop and Shop on Whaley Avenue that I'm aware of as well. Any questions online?
Kellyanne?
Kellyanne's hand raised.
Hi, yeah, that sounds like a great program. Thank you for doing that. I'm just wondering how you guys are going to connect maybe, or if you've thought about connecting with the Bike New Haven with the electric bikes and seeing if there's a way that community members could have a discounted access to the Bike New Haven and just have more hubs in Fairhaven, because I think there's only 2 in Fairhaven right now. Thinking about it, but that's a really inexpensive, great way for folks to commute throughout the city.
Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. And that's something I'd love for the liaison to work on. And I myself actually would be interested in learning more about that as well too. If you want to put my email in the chat there too, Lee, I'd be more than happy to look into that more.
Okay, so go ahead and tell us what your email address is and
Do you got it?
Abby is on it.
Yeah, you
Okay,
right, we
so-
emailed earlier today.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
wonderful, and that will also be reflected in the minutes, as will any information that you leave us or send us electronically in the next day or two to Fairhaven CMT. We will then share that out with the minutes. I don't see any other questions online. I don't see any other questions in the room, so we're gonna proceed to the next announcement. And the next announcement is an announcement that I've been asked to make. Some of you may be familiar with an organization called Witness to Hunger.
Witnesses to Hunger.
I'm sorry?
Witnesses to Hunger.
Yeah, Witnesses to Hunger. And this is a local organization, and they have put together a petition, and you can read about it. We have it here. It will be also in the minutes. It will be reflected. And the petition is to President McInnes, the new president of Yale University. And the petition says, we demand Yale commit $100,000 every year to make sure New Haven kids have enough to eat. If you agree with that statement and would like your name added, there is a flyer that we will send you through the minutes, and there's a QR code you can sign. Well, I'm blind and why I'm showing it to them. They can't see. There is a flyer, and you can see it right here. See right there? And we're gonna put that in the minutes, but in the room, you can pick it up right here. They're gonna be distributed to you. So if you agree with this statement, which I hope everyone can agree that children should not go hungry and that Yale has the money to commit $100,000 a year, then please go ahead and sign the petition right there on your way out. If you have any questions?
Especially the summertime, when the schools are closed, children go hungry, they go hungry. That's why we are in.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for bringing the petition to our attention. Are there any questions online about this petition? I don't see any. Any questions in the room? Very clear. Okay, thank you very much. With that, other than the reports by the alders, we have concluded our meeting. Oh, yes, sorry, thank you for pointing that out. It's my announcement and I forgot about it. Okay, I have been reporting on this for the last few months. A group of us in Fairhaven, including residents, elected officials, large employers, the Mary Wade Home, the Fairhaven Health Clinic, and developers, David Salinas, who developed the district, John Perlich, we all agree, and I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, would agree, we have way too much garbage in Fairhaven, and we want to do something about it. So we have started Fairhaven, Clean Haven makes it a great Fairhaven. So this is marketing material that you can take with you. It's on the table. We'll make it available through our minutes. there's a QR code to a specific website just for Fairhaven about when cleanups are gonna be done. We're doing what's called a soft launch now with these cards to let people know, but we're gonna go full guns a-blazing, starting after the winter. We will have cards, we will have lawn signs, we will be doing cleanups on individual streets, and when we clean up on a street, every house will get a flyer, and the flyer will say, this street was cleaned by the Fairhaven Clean Team. If you'd like to help us, we ask that you just keep the front of your house clean. You don't have to do anything else, just the front of your house, the front of your business. Now, if you want to do more, then you can go to the website, you can find out what the next cleanup is, and you can volunteer for that cleanup. But as a minimum, we want to just point out, we clean the street, help us to keep your street clean by keeping the front of your business clean, by keeping the front of your house clean. There will be a poster creating competition. There will be money. And this poster competition will be for students in all of our schools in Fairhaven. And we figured that getting posters done by kids that will go up in those big metal boxes that are on our main streets on Lombard and on Grand Avenue next to where the bicycles are, that's where those posters will go. So we want to involve the kids at the school level, and we want to incentivize them with money to create these posters. And we're open to any ideas that anyone has, anyone at all, about how we do what we're trying to do, which is we're trying to change the culture of just throwing garbage down on the street. The garbage cans on Grand Avenue are going to come back. They're being painted and fixed. They'll have a little bay on the side where people can put bottles and cans so that they don't get put in the garbage. So people who need to get them to make money don't have to throw all the garbage out of the can. So they'll be right on the outside. That was an idea that came up at one of our meetings. Any suggestions at all? If any of you would like to lead an effort to clean on your street or in front of your business, let us know. We want to coordinate all those things so that people can not only do the cleanup, but that other people see that people are doing cleanups, because that's how we keep the place clean. Everyone needs to support at some level. So please join us. Information will be in the minutes. Information is on the table, this card right here. Go to the website and see everything that's been done. Thank you to Digital Surgeons, the marketing firm at the district. They developed these materials for us. And thank you also to Wilbercross High School printing program. High school students printed these cards, and all the flyers, everything, they're all being printed for us at Wilbercross High School. Any questions about Fairhaven cleanup?
We have Maureen online.
Lee, my question would be, having listened to Carmen, many a month, about how it seems like a lot of the trash is actually people from out of the city coming in and just dumping, in front of houses. It's not the people living in those places or maybe having a business. So has LCI been part of this whole coordinated effort? And is there something else that I don't know. I guess I'm not feeling so positive that cultural change will extend beyond people coming in from outside of Fairhaven and just using it for dumping.
So 2 points about that, because this is an excellent point that you're making. So first of all, not only is LCI participating in these meetings, the Office of Economic Development, who is over them, has a regular staff person at our monthly meeting. We're very serious about the government helping us with this. That's number one.
Okay.
Number two is it has been studied and researched. If we clean up, it is less likely that someone will actually throw garbage down when it's clean. One of the reasons why we have a problem with garbage is people I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember the song Alice's Restaurant, but
Yeah.
it's just about that. Instead of picking up the garbage, I see a lot of garbage down there. Instead of taking our garbage somewhere else, there's a lot of garbage here. So let's just go ahead and dump here. Now, that's not gonna solve everybody, right? That's not gonna solve everybody, but what that's gonna do is some people will not bring garbage because they don't see this as a place for garbage. That means there are fewer people for Carmen and the city to track, because right now it's just overwhelming them. So what we need to do is get rid of as much garbage as we can by doing our own cleanups, by doing our own messaging to ourselves and to our children, and then by doing that, reducing some of the people who come here simply because they see it as a place where you can go to dump garbage. And then the next one, so that's kind of like the carrot, won't you join us? Then we have the stick behind the carrot for the people who, no matter what you do, they still keep coming. Well, then we can go after that. So that's our multi-pronged approach, supported by businesses on Grand Avenue, our largest employers, our developers that are working with us, residents, school children, and if anyone thinks of any other category of people that we need to get involved in this, tell us, and we'll involve them as well. Thank you for your question. Any other questions online? Any other questions in the room? Okay, other than the aldermanic reports, which will come at the end, we have now gotten to the point on our agenda where it's time for elections. Okay, we have formed. I hope.
I hope so too.
We continue to, we had quorum, so we're gonna.
We did before, but I don't know. I haven't checked.
Okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and proceed because we're there. So here's the situation, ladies and gentlemen. We currently have only one person for each position. This is the final time we can go ahead and proceed with the elections. But what we're gonna do is go position by position, say who has offered themselves for each of the positions, give them a chance to talk. Liz, are you here? I don't think she is. Again, Liz is my co-chair, but she is trying to become a teacher, so that's her priority, we get that. But she is running for co-chair with me. And I think everybody knows my name is Lee Cruz, and Liz and I have been doing this for a few years now, and we'd like to continue if you accept us. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna open up nominations in case anyone else would like to nominate themselves or nominate someone else to be one of the two co-chairs, in which case there would be 3 people or more, and then people will vote. So I will ask, is there anyone who would like to, and the person who's nominated, they have to accept, right? The nomination. Anyone that would like to nominate themselves or someone for co-chair of the Fairhaven Management Team, please raise your hand. Is there anyone that would like to nominate themselves or someone else? And also, by the way, it's a good point. You can only be nominated if you appear on this list because you have to meet the criteria of having attended 5 of the last 12 meetings. So only these people. I will ask one final time, is there anyone that would like to nominate themselves or anyone else for a co-chair? Seeing no nominations, we're going to close the nominations for co-chairs of the management team. Second position that is available is vice chair. This is a position that Adam holds. And Adam, I want you to just say a bit about yourself, but also I'm going to put you big on the screen. I think it's really important before anyone think about nominating themselves for this position or nominate someone else. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
So I am the vice chair. The official vice chair duties are managing roll and attendance, keeping all records of attendance up to date, assist the chairs in maintaining matters of order and decorum at public meetings, But on top of that, I also am the, kind of webmaster of things that aren't the email. So corresponding secretary is sending you the email. If there's anything, the public attendance records, the website, the putting together the votes that I'm gonna stick in the chat. All that's what I've been doing. So yep, and Dave just sent the link to the bylaws. There's also just the one officer section in the voting link. So if you need to reference it, it'll be in the vote.
Well, thank you very much. Is there anyone that would like to nominate themselves or someone else for the position of vice chair? Is there anyone that would like to nominate themselves or someone else for the position of vice chair? And then I will ask a third time. This is standard if you're following Robert's rules and as best we can, because no one's an expert. Is there anyone who would like to nominate themselves or someone else for vice chair? Hearing no nominations, I'm going to close the nominations for vice chair. Okay, the next position is corresponding secretary. Now, we have a wonderful corresponding secretary who happens to be a friend of mine, Abby. She has, with all due time and everything, informed us that due to her personal situation that she may or may not want to mention, she's not wanting to continue long-term in the position because some things have happened. And
You can say it. Oh, my God.
Okay, he's gonna have a baby. He's gonna have a baby in April.
You guys are funny.
But we don't have anyone that has offered to be in this position. So she has graciously offered to stay on until we find someone to be the corresponding secretary. So with that said, I'm gonna ask Abby to introduce herself for those who may not remember, and just a refresher, and to say a little bit about what she does, what her position involves. Abby?
Sure. I guess I'll go to the hot seat here.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm Abby. You guys, I think I know all of you, or have seen at least most of you. I've been corresponding secretary, I think since 2021, maybe, end of 2021. So about 3 years. And it's been fun. It's kind of air traffic control of the management team. So the role is a lot of emails. All the MailChimp emails that you get to remind you about the meetings are from the corresponding secretary. I'm kind of the first point when people are interested in presenting at the meeting. I'm supposed to respond in a timely manner, depending on how much is going on in my life. It's timely or less timely, but I always do get back to people. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's mainly just kind of keeping the communications going between people and agencies and groups, groups operating in Fairhaven. So it's a great chance. I like the role because it's a great chance to kind of know what's going on in the neighborhood always. And you're kind of in the loop because you're getting the word out. So.
Okay, and let me see here. David says, I used to be the corresponding secretary. If anyone is interested in learning more about the role, I am super available to talk. He offers his phone number and his email address. Abby obviously also. So please keep in mind, but for right now, Abby has offers to extend, so she is currently the only candidate for the position. We're gonna open up nominations. I will ask again, and first let me take this off pen. Is there anyone who would like to nominate themselves or someone else for the position of correspondence secretary? Thank you, Abby.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that would like to nominate themselves or someone else for the position of correspondence secretary? And one final time, is there anyone who would like to nominate themselves or someone else for correspondence secretary? Please think about it. Please We will work with you, we will support you. Everyone else on the team has been experienced and will work with you. David is offering to help. Abby, I'm sure, would help. But we do need to find someone from April on. So I don't see any nominations. I will then now close nominations for the correspondence secretary. And then recording secretary. Christina, right here, is our recording secretary. Christina, would you talk to them? Huh? Yeah, go to the hot seat.
Oh, Lord. Hello, everyone. I feel like I'm so quiet, so no one really knows. My name is Christina Griffin. I am a teacher. I've been teaching now, this is my 11th year. So organization is one of my strong suits. So typically what I do is once we meet, after Abby has done all the hard work, I just put the agenda together. I obviously do the minutes that get sent out. And I try to help sometimes with the email, but she does most of the work. So most of my legwork actually is during the actual meeting. Just recording everything and then kind of reaching out, taking the ballots, recording attendance, all that good stuff. So it's a lot of fun. And I enjoy being able to access some things that I wouldn't normally have access to because I come here consistently. So that's it.
Thank you very much. Any questions before we open up the nominations? David, OneWeb just made an excellent suggestion. Please look at the list of voting members who have been at least 5 of the last 12 meetings. And if you know someone that you think might be a good person and you're friends with them, you know them, ask them. That's how we find people. If you don't know someone that well, but you suspect they might be, let one of us know. We will be glad to reach out to someone, but they must be a voting member 5 of the last 12 meetings. I do not believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Adam or David or anyone else, I don't believe you need to be a voting member to nominate someone or to recommend someone, at least informally. But you do have to be a voting member in order to assume the position, okay? Okay, so
Yes, everybody who is present here is welcome to encourage somebody else to run for a role. That is definitely something that everybody has access to.
Absolutely, 100%. Okay, so we're opening up the nominations for correspondence secretary.
Recording.
Well, recording secretary, I stand corrected for recording secretary. Is there anyone who would like to nominate themselves or someone else for the position of recording secretary? Is there anyone who would like to nominate themselves or someone else for the position of recording secretary? And one final time, is there anyone who would like to nominate themselves or someone else for the position of recording secretary? Seeing no additional nominations, we're closing nominations for the recording secretary. Okay, and then final position, I did not say last, and it is definitely not least, but the final position before we move to election is the position of treasurer. And this is a position for which Gina has given us ample notice of her desire to step down. And my eagerness to thank her has to do with the fact that she has set up so many of the systems that have made it possible for us to have a very easy process for accounting for our money that's very transparent. So I thanked her before, I'll thank her again, and I'll probably thank her a few other times. But that's the part of the good news is that all that has happened. The other part of the good news is that Patricia Adler, who is on the upper right-hand corner there, Patricia, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, background, before we actually officially ask for nominations?
Sure. Can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, my name is Patricia. Last name is Adger. I'm just going to correct you a little bit on that. Cruz, and you've known me forever to say my last name wrong. But anyway, I was born and raised and educated here in this great city of New Haven, Connecticut. So I've been here my whole life. Throughout my lifetime, I've had many careers, and we're not going through them all, but the last 12 years, I've been working with grassroots nonprofit organizations on stability and feasibility plans, and with artists with grant and funding opportunities. Just a side note, my hobbies are too many to mention, but I can at least balance an accounting ledger. And if anybody else wants to know anything else about me, just feel free to ask.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for offering yourself up for this position. And thank you for the correction. I stand corrected. Okay, so we're opening up the nominations for treasurer. Is there anyone who would like to nominate themselves or someone else for the position of treasurer? Is there anyone who would like to nominate themselves or someone else for the position of treasurer? And one final ask, is there anyone who would like to nominate themselves or someone else for the position of treasurer? Seeing no other nominations, we will close nominations the way that we open them. We have one person for each position. Nevertheless, we do want to have a vote. We want to officially tally that on this date, people were in fact approved for these positions. So Adam is going to put up a link that can be followed by everyone who's online. Please keep in mind that you should only vote if you are a voting member. You appeared on the list. If you have any question, you can write directly to Adam. But the list was, I don't know if you can put the list back up, Adam.
Yep.
And then here in the room, if you haven't taken one, the ballots are right here. It's the list of all the members. So everyone, I hope, has a ballot. Fill out your ballot.
Mine is Christina for some reason. I wanted to put all the names because the names come to me in order of who's been at the most meetings. So I was like, oh, I should alphabetize this. And I somehow left out Christina in that. So
Christina, we can all attest. She has to be.
she's on. So if you see here, she is up here in the upper echelons of attendance. But
I'm in this one. I was on
we
vacation.
have some real record holders here. Look at that. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so if you are one of these people, make sure you have a ballot. If you're in the room, please mark everyone that you would like to vote for, or you can abstain from the vote. And then on the same ballot, if you're in the room, if you want to write down Thanksgiving and then write yes, no, or abstain, and you can then fold that over and bring it up to the secretary. On the side that has the list of names, check your name so that we make sure we have one ballot from each person. Okay, so check your name off, then on the other side, vote. If you are online, Adam, I believe you've separated out, there's a vote for the Thanksgiving event.
right, well, because this election vote has to happen right now, whereas the Thanksgiving one you have till the end of the weekend.
Right. So you'll get both links. Please vote now for the officers. And you can also, the vote on the event is so quick that once you finish voting for our candidates, please go ahead and do the other one just so that we can get that done. So there it is. There's the voting link in the room. If you don't have a pen, we have extra pens over there. As soon as you're done, please come up and give your ballot. I'm gonna do that now myself, so I'll shut up.
Say I appreciate everyone coming out, filling out the form. It's only got one option, but and yeah, I know Abby talked about the corresponding secretary position, so start thinking about that one. Think of people who might be good. And we'll give everyone in the room a second to fill this out. And hopefully
if you give us a moment, we're gonna tell you the results, and while we're doing that, we're gonna go through the aldermanic reports very quickly. And that's just to give folks a chance to because we have the reports in writing. The alders all have committee meetings tonight, so we have written reports from them. Okay, I assume everybody's in the process of voting. While you're doing that, let's go through the alders. Again, all of them had let us know that they could not be here due to other obligations. Alder Ellen Kupel sent us a report. Is there
She
anything
did.
outstanding in her report that people should know?
I'll just say quickly just what she sent. So the legislative committee meeting is happening Tuesday, November 5th. Or no, November 12th, sorry, at the Board of Alders chambers. And I believe that's an open meeting. So there's 3 voting items before the legislative committee, and there will be a workshop with the Fair Rent Commission's executive director. Your updates on tenant union organizing. So if you're interested in that, you're welcome to go. And the turkey and ham drive for Mill River Crossing is happening on Tuesday, November 26th. And they are seeking volunteers and or donations. So if you're interested in that, Ellen Kupo's email address, I'll put it in the chat so everybody can see it. Yeah, and that's her alder report.
Okay, so before I ask for the report from the next alder, Carolyn Smith, I'm gonna ask, Adam, do you have all the votes in yet?
I know that there's one that somebody told me about that I don't see in yet, so.
Okay, so when you get those, can you email them to Christina?
Yeah, we have a shared spreadsheet.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, we have a live document.
These people, man, they're good. See, that's why you want to be a part of this team. They have live action. Wonderful. Okay. So they're ahead of me. Okay, Alder Carolyn Smith.
So we received a note from Caroline Smith. So tonight's the full Board of Alders meeting, so they all had to be there. But a couple of things is one is the initiative Lee already mentioned, the Fairhaven Clean Haven campaign. All the alders in Fairhaven are involved in that. So just so you are aware. And then there's a small business initiative. This is happening in partnership with Alder Sarah Miller, City Siege, Grand Avenue Special Services District, City of New Haven. It's going to be a roundtable discussion about improving the permitting process and licensing for small businesses. So yeah, if you want more information about that, you can reach out to Alder Caroline Smith, and anyone is welcome to go to that. I put her email in the chat. And I don't have details about when or where that's gonna be, but that is gonna be happening soon. So reach out to Alder Smith if you'd like to be part of it.
And if we do get anything from her, it will be in the minutes. Alder Anna Festa, do we have a report? No.
No, we do not know.
Alder Sarah Miller, she submitted a report.
We do have a report from Alder Miller. Kudos to our Fairhaven alders this time. So the first item to announce, the Strong School Playground is up for sale or auction. The auction closes November 18th. And so if you are interested in bidding on that, there's a website that I'll put in the chat actually, about how to bid. And then on Saturday, November 23rd, from 10 a.m. to noon, there will be a meeting, a community meeting, location to be TBD, about responding to the threats to the immigrant community and the LGBT neighbors that are possibly impending in federal legislation. And so that more details will be shared through Alder Miller's email blast. So keep an eye out for that if you're interested in joining. And then finally, she wanted us to mention the Thanksgiving lunch, which we've already talked about.
Wonderful, thank you very much. Alder Frank Redente, did he send anything?
He did not.
He did not. And Alder Jose Crespo?
Nope.
He did not send anything, okay. So that concludes the list of all of our alders who are who cover the area of Fairhaven. How are we doing, folks, on the elections? Do we have?
I got my online numbers in. I don't.
Okay.
Oh, and then we got the totals in. Yep. Hey, who knew? It's unanimous.
Okay, so can you put the screen up? Is that something you can?
Sure.
Oh, and Sophia, the Thanksgiving vote is coming. Adam sent it, but I'm also sending it in the e-blast follow-up, so it should go to your email. You should get it as an email as well if you're on our mailing list.
Okay, so if you are interested in what we're doing because you live here, work here, or you're just one of those people that wants to know everybody, everything, write to Fairhaven CMT and ask to be put on our mailing list. We will not overwhelm you. One of the things that Abby has done is really kept the emails down to a minimum, but they are chock full of information. So if you want to know. Okay, the spreadsheet went away. Did it come back?
Oh, I can put it back. Sure.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay, so there, folks, are the numbers. We have a total of 15 people. 4 members are present in person, 11 are present online.
And then there's quite a few organizations that traditionally abstain from all votes, so.
Right. Yes, that's true. We should say, typically the police and some others just standard operation, they abstain. So, congratulations to all who were elected. Thank you from myself and I assume also my fellow members. We'll continue another year. Congratulations, Patricia. Welcome aboard. Please join us at the next meeting of the executive committee, which is the last Thursday of this month. We need to adjust it, right? Because isn't that Thanksgiving?
Yep.
Okay,
We will
so
need to adjust it.
Okay.
Mhm.
yeah, so we'll adjust that. That's a matter for us internally. We'll talk about that. So with that, we have concluded the agenda of our meeting. And just want to remind people that we are open to any suggestions for how to make these meetings better, more interesting, more fun, all that good stuff. We do have a meeting in December. We'll try to have something celebratory. Any final things before we adjourn? Seeing none online, seeing none in person, I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved. I
Thank
heard you
you.
move. Second,
All right.
I see a second. And we are concluded. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great Thanksgiving. And
Yes,
all that
yeah.
you celebrate, which I hope you at least do that day.
Stay cool out there in November.
Yeah,
Right.
at this point, we're staying warm.
It's crazy.
Good night, everyone online.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Yep.